welcome to Resilience Matters. Today we're delighted to be joined by Sharon Gaskin, who is a coach that helps freelance trainers grow their business both profitably, I can say the word profitably, and enjoyably. Oh, that was a long word. Sharon's also the Chief Nurturing Officer, which I love the title, Sharon, of Trainer Talk, which Alison and I are both well acquainted, which is a community that has like-minded freelance trainers in it. So welcome, Sharon.
Oh, lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's nice to see you again. So Sharon, tell us all a bit about yourself.
Well, what do you want to know?
Just about your background, how you came to be, a bit about your personal life. Whatever you'd like to share with the world.
Okay. So I thought I'd ask you what you wanted to know specifically, because if we don't narrow it down, then I will just talk about Rafa all day, So
yeah, it's true. We will, yes.
Me and Alison will anyway. So we'll stay on the topic of Rafa just now. So thank you for that introduction. So I'm Sharon. I'm the founder of the Trainers Training Company, which helps freelance trainers to create and grow successful businesses. I've had my company since 2009. Can you believe that? It's 13 years now, and has grown from the germ of an idea and a one-page website and an ebook to the kind of the company it is today, really, with lots of different products and services, and all kind of dedicated to the one thing, which is to help freelance trainers create and grow their businesses.
Yeah, excellent. I guess helping people in a new business, requires a lot of resilience, and indeed, your business as well, Sharon. How does the resilience show up in your work?
Oh God! Well, I think it shows up in kind of two ways, really. Before I carry on, can you hear like there's like a little echo, there's noise in the background?
Yeah, it's not affecting it enough, I wouldn't say. As like you're coming through clearly, Sharon. Are we echoing?
Oh, that's better. I think that's better. Must have been because it was on. It felt like there was a radio on in the background, so I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't. So, yeah. So okay. So resilience kind of shows up for me in sort of two ways, I guess. For me personally, and then kind of with the people that I work with, my clients. So I think for me personally, it shows up all the time because business owners have just got to be resilient, haven't we? I'm sure you know, because the business landscape is always changing. COVID obviously, being a prime example of that. And I think, in my own business, I always say, you never get there because there's always further to go, in my business, I'm always making changes to it. I'm always looking for, ways to improve. I'm always tinkering with stuff, and that is in response to the sort of changing landscape that we see around us. So I think business owners, me as a business owner, you've got to be resilient as well, because you do always have ups and downs in your business as well. The peaks, troughs, good times, bad times, things happen. You've got to adapt. And the same with my clients, really. I work with my clients in many ways. Some I'm working with as a coach and work with them one-to-one. Some of them are kind of working with them on a training program. Some I'll be working with them in like my community. But, they're all going to have, at whatever stage their business is at, they're all going to have ups and downs and times where, hey, everything's great. And I got, 2 new clients today and everything's, marvellous. And then other times where, just can't make this work, or I haven't got any clients, or I'm not enjoying this, or whatever particular challenge they're going through. They might have lost their mojo. I think that pops up quite a lot, because it is quite hard, isn't it, to when you are a business owner and you're working on your own, to have that, you know, to have that self-motivation and that
Yeah.
all the time, you know, that you're going to have a peak and trough with that.
I think absolutely one of the things I've noticed with the Train and Talk community is you do have these moments where people are willing to be quite vulnerable, I think, in the community. But then what's lovely is for other people, they sit there and go, oh, it's not just me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I'm having a bit of a down moment at the moment. I say particularly during the pandemic, when some people seem to be doing all right, but actually for other people, as a trainer, your world was turned upside down. And then that community just expressing that and talking about that and how, you know, helping each other to get over it, such a powerful thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and COVID, you know, was definitely a big challenge, wasn't it? For probably one of the biggest challenges I've faced in my business. You know, because I was, when COVID came along, I had it from both barrels, so to speak, because because what happened was, you know, when you were a part of that, so literally when the world sort of closed down on the 13th of March, literally people were coming into the Train and Talk community and going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I haven't got a business. Like, I have no clients, like everything's shut down. And, you know, the sheer panic of everybody. And so, yeah, having to kind of like deal with that, to sort of help and support people and work them through it. And I spent, I don't know really if you remember at COVID times when there was a lot of people suddenly, you know, they didn't have to go into the office and they worked from home. And they go on Facebook or whatever and they go, oh, it's great. I'm loving this, how life has really slowed down. And I'm just sitting in my garden with a book. And what? I haven't had time to like do any of this because I was on Zoom, what felt like 24/7, you know, helping and supporting the trainers in my community who were, quite frankly, I think, going through that whole change curve thing. You know, we had shock, denial, you know, worry, fear, denial. I've said that before.
Panic,
and then acceptance, and then moving through to, okay, right, there's something I could do about this. So all of those stages I was helping people through, putting on extra sessions. You know, I've just been uploading the all the videos into this new membership platform. And what struck me was just how much we did in 2020. Unbelievable. So many sessions, extra sessions that we ran. And those were only the ones that we recorded. I know that there were loads more going on. So that for me was, when I said I had it at both had it with both barrels, felt it with both barrels, was all that was going on, helping and supporting people. But then I was going through it in my own business as well. You know, a large slice of, you know, what my business model, which was the associate alert stuff, just disappeared overnight. And people were just cancelling in droves because there was no training. So I was like thinking, am I going to even have a business? And, you know, there was all this going on. So that's why, oh my God, I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted by the end of that year, you know, because like birth, it was a massive challenge.
And it's interesting, isn't it, that, you know, I know COVID was a very extreme example, but what you said there, you know, almost about how you can put your oxygen mask on first. You know, how do you help other people when you're maybe not feeling resourceful yourself? You know, what do you do to keep yourself?
Looking back, I think previous to that, I'd got started to get very woo-woo, as I would describe as very woo-woo. And I'd got like more, this echo is really bad, isn't it? It's really, yeah, I switched it off now. Okay, that's better. I'd got without not consciously, I think I just got very woo-woo and started to get interested in training courses and books and things that would sort of help me more with mindset stuff. One because I was interested in it more for my own self-knowledge, and two, I think because many of my clients were kind of dealing with that stuff as well. Like they on the face of it come to help to get help with their business, but inevitably what they really need help with is the mindset stuff and stuff that's going on up here. Because I think a lot of my clients, they know what to do, but for whatever reason they're just not doing it. And they're not doing it because of the stories that they tell themselves, the limited beliefs, all that kind of stuff. So I've just got kind of interested in all this stuff and really started going to loads of courses with Michael Neal and Robert Holden and Louise Hay and all those sorts of spiritual teachers, and I was involved in this a course that Robert Holden and Michael Neal ran during COVID, which was called the Spiritual Resilience Mastermind. And it was amazing because it ran for like 9 months, so pretty much throughout 2020. And that really helped me no end because I was surrounded by people who were, all of that mindset. And a lot of them on this particular program had been working with them for a long time, and I was a bit of a newbie. And in fact, I remember on the first session that we were in, and the first question that we were asked was, "What does spiritual resilience mean to you?" And I remember sitting here with my new notebook and going, I have absolutely no idea. I don't even know what spiritual means. Never mind. And am I on the right course? Oh my God, is this going to be all religious? And kind of like, I was really kind of, but then I soon, started to sort of, understand it. That one, it means different things to different people. And I think some key messages that has come through from all that teaching are around, your thoughts, and that, your thoughts kind of come and go. And, you can be, and I've noticed this like kind of like so much that, you can be down in the doldrums 1 minute because you're listening to your thought and you're kind of on that, negativity train or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then because, you're only ever one thought away from a different experience, another thought comes in, and then your world is completely different because of the way that you're viewing things. And so that really helped me, absolutely no end. And another thing that really helped me with that is about your thoughts, about, you have these thoughts, but you don't have to believe them. They're just thoughts. You don't have to take them seriously. They're just thoughts. You are not your thoughts, So all this stuff, it just, oh my God, I cannot tell you how much that being involved in that world and in a world that I'd never been involved in before, and having that kind of drip approach where it all started to learn about it, just really, really, really helped me. Really helped me.
And that's, well, there's loads of thought of that, but isn't that great that sometimes we really fear change, and obviously COVID is an extreme example, but that gives us real opportunities to grow, doesn't it? I mean, I done the same. I went on a 4-month program. I started meditation. My kids were worried about me as I was like, excuse me, I'm just connecting with the universe. And, but actually I thought as well, it will help me as well serve other people, who, like as yourself as the coach, how you then help other people realize they're more than their thoughts. It's funny you said that, because that's written on my board right next to me, which I wrote in COVID, and my little top tips.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I often think as well with that, I mean, as I say, it was something that I'd decided to do. It was 2019, I think. Was it 2019? Yeah, because it was when I came here on holiday. when we were staying in the Airbnb, just right over there. And I did my first course with Michael Neal then, and I remember sitting in the Airbnb place, and and doing this stuff and listening to this stuff and not really understanding it. In fact, half the time I still don't really understand it, but but he always says, "Don't worry about it. You don't understand." I've been doing this for 30 years and I don't understand all of it either. But you just sort of take it in by osmosis, kind of thing. And but I often think sometimes how bizarre was that decision to start doing that kind of work, and how bizarre that during the next year it was something that I need this now, and kind of this has really come along at the right time to kind of help me with all these different challenges in my business, really. So you see.
There you go. It's all in the universe, I'm sure. But something you said earlier when you said actually how you help people through it, and sometimes when you're coaching, you're helping people with their business, how they might be struggling. How do you help them to get over some of those, you mentioned, limiting beliefs and blockers? What do you do?
Oh gosh, I think well, I do believe with all this stuff that that there's always a way. There's always a way through this stuff. And people can get very stuck and don't believe that there kind of is a way. And I think one of the things as well that I've learned, and I kind of like pass on to my clients as well, is that there is a way, but there are different ways that you can deal with this kind of stuff. And another sort of situation that happened to me in my life that I found very challenging. I mean, I've had literally the last 2 years have been, I was describing it, I went out I saw a friend at the weekend who hadn't seen for 2 years, and she was like, "Oh, so, what's happened?" I was kind of like relaying all the things that's happened in my life over the last 2 years, like, okay, left Droitwich, moved to Wales, moved to a new house, moved to another house, had the builders in twice, moved in, day after, lost my dog, all this sort of stuff. And she was like, "Oh my God," you were like literally gone through everything there is to go through in the last 2 years. But I think one of the things in my second experience, I had all these upheavals, and then the icing on the cake was obviously then I lost my dog, who I'd had for nearly 15 years, the day after we moved house, and went into this period of feeling very low for a few months. And one of the things, to come back to your question, one of the things I learned from that, and I've talked to my clients about, is that there are times when sometimes, and this is what I would normally do, you can just push through. When you're feeling like that and you need to be more resilient, you can just push through. And that is what I would normally do. Block it all out, keep that head down, just push through. But this particular situation, when I'd had and move and then losing Jem, I couldn't push through it. I just couldn't push through it. And so I had to just learn to it and just go, he's one of these situations where I'm just going to learn to let it go. Stick with it for a while. I'll kind of feel better at the stage, but just pushing through is not going to work. So to go back to the question, Kathy, about with my clients and things, I might say there are some times where the best thing is to push through, and then other times where you just have to not do that. But whichever way you decide to deal with it, then that's okay. If that makes sense, Probably didn't explain myself very well.
No, I think a lot of what you say, like we have personal journeys, and it's like there are each of those sort of endings that we have in our life. It doesn't mean that life has ending, but there are parts in our life, there are challenges, there are situations when we lose like loved parts of our family, and there are moments that sometimes we have to go, okay, I just need some space, some time for this.
That's it, yeah. You articulated that beautifully, Alison, much better than I did. But yeah,
that's because I've been on a counselling course.
Yeah. Times when you can't. It's like when people sort of say to me, another common issue that my clients come up with is when they're really stuck in their business, and they just kind of feel like they're wading through treacle, and things feel just so hard, and again, I will always say to them in that situation, like, okay, but do you know what? The best thing for you right now might be to just go and have a week off, or have a day off, or go and do something different, or, rather than just pushing through, because the pushing through isn't working for you at the moment. So go off and do something different. And so, that's I guess the same approach that I had when I was very low for a few months. The pushing through just wasn't working, and so I had to look at other ways of just letting it all go. Just put one foot in front of the other, doing the bare minimum, which was a bit alien to me, because I always pushed through my business, and I always kind of worked really hard, and and to just go, do you know what? I haven't even got an office at the moment. I've got like builders in the house. I'm crying every 5 minutes. It's kind of, I just have to. I can't do this in the way that I would normally do it. But you know what? That's okay. It's all right. And then, sure enough, it was okay. And then I got through it. And then, come the January, New Year, I felt much better. Yeah, with the addition of my new dog.
But yeah, that all helps. And there is that piece about being kind to yourself, and even us, we focus on mindset, but it doesn't. We're still human. You're still human, right? You still have to sometimes have those emotions and let them out. And I think that's one thing I've learned was, actually just be kind to yourself. You're just doing the best you can in that moment. But storms don't last forever. And in that moment, you're doing the best you can, and be kind to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, another thing, Michael Neal talks about a lot, you're doing the best that you can with the thinking that's available to you in that moment, and that's what we all do, really, when you think about it. But yeah, being kind to yourself again is another thing that I've learned through, the work that I've done, because it's incredible how we talk to ourselves sometimes. If you ever listen to yourself, you would not talk to anybody in the way that you talk to yourself sometimes, and so I've learned through the work that I've done to be a lot kinder to myself, to not talk to myself, to talk to myself in a nice way, as opposed to talking to myself in a nasty way. I mean, where do we think that that's a good idea?
I know.
But it's all part of that protection mechanism, isn't it, though? That as human beings, we, the first thing we want to do is we want to spot the dangers. So we want to spot the things that are wrong. So there's a chap with the best name out there, Zig Ziglar.
Oh, yeah. Other one.
And he's one of those guys, and he's like, 80% or more of our self-talk is negative. We understand where that comes from, fine. But what can we do to focus our attention on the positive stuff, to really recognize, what we can achieve and how amazing we are, and that, when things go wrong, it's all part of the colors of our life, and it's amazing what we can learn from it. But we are constantly battling with the well-intentioned noise of our brain trying to protect us.
Totally. I see it in coaching all the time, quite extreme. They might go, oh, well, I'm just stupid. It's like, what would you tell a friend? And actually, when you can step out of your thoughts and say, would you say that to a friend? Would you call her stupid? Would you say, you've lost your dog, get over it, you should be back on your feet by now? You wouldn't, would you? And actually, quite often when you ask other people that question, if this was your best friend in this situation, what would you say? Well, I'd say you're amazing, you've done this, you don't. So why are you not telling yourself that? It's really hard. Sometimes you have to step out of your thoughts to actually see how resourceful we really are.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the, and I'm not ashamed to say, I've done the old woo-woo mirror work, and and I do it now because, and that has just helped enormously. Because if you are starting your day, going into the bathroom, brushing your teeth and looking at yourself in the mirror and going, oh, Jesus Christ, look at the state of me. And, oh, my God, I just hate myself. I hate the way I look. Or, oh, my God, I can't, that is not setting yourself up for a good day, So I've learned, and, I'm sure you've heard all this stuff. And, Louise Hay, she invented the mirror work, didn't she? And, when you first start reading about it, it does all sound really American. Kind of like, oh my God, I can't go look at myself in the mirror and go, oh, I love you. And, it's like, but when you start doing it, or even just instead of, I used to avoid mirrors like the plague, kind of every time I'd like see one, I'm like, well, don't look in the mirror, and but if you kind of can change that, and when you pass the mirror, instead of avoiding it, just look at and just give yourself a great big smile, just and it's amazing how differently you feel, how much more positive you think, and smiling is a wonderful thing anyway, isn't it? I think a lot of our problems can be solved by just smiling more often. I think really, because if you smile, you can't feel miserable, can you?
Yeah.
When you smile and somebody smiles back at you, it's infectious. You cannot be walking around with the voice of the world on your shoulder when you're smiling, can you?
And it takes 13 muscles to smile and 50 muscles to frown.
It's
practical.
No-brainer. On an efficiency basis, that's a no-brainer there, Alison. Why would you? And like you say, what a wonderful gift. I can remember at primary school, I still remember this, even though it was like 40-something years ago. Our teacher said, what can you give somebody that costs you nothing that really improves their lives? And we were like, oh, a lollipop stick you found on the floor. We were saying all these things. And she was saying, it's a smile.
Yeah.
And it is so true.
It is so true. I'm one of these probably annoyingly weird people that when I go out and take my dog for a walk, every person that I pass, I will say hello and smile at them. And it's amazing. Like 90% of people will smile back and say hello, which is lovely. And then you'll get the other people who will just like not make eye contact and but again, I've learned not to not to judge people in that situation, because I think when I first started doing it, I'd be kind of like, oh, so rude up there. Oh, you're miserable so-and-so. I have no idea what's going on in their world. I've got no idea why they are not smiling back. Hey, it is what it is. They are who they. Do you know what I mean? There's no. I don't. The whole judgment thing, I've really learned a huge amount of in the way I've done. So not just in terms of judging myself. We talked about the mirror work and the self-talk and stuff like that, but also judging other people as well. I guess it is a human, we all do it, probably without even thinking about it. But if we did a bit less of that, I think, again, the world would probably be a better place.
Yeah, totally. Oh, what a lovely leaving gift you've given us, Sharon. I cannot believe our time is up. And we haven't even talked about tennis once. Yay, that's a winning.
I think we did all that before the show, didn't we? So.
We did.
But no, amazing, Sharon. And hopefully really good insight for other people and some things they might be able to take away as well. So thank you so much.
I hope so. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And just to let our network know, we are running a learning week in October to support Mental Health Awareness Month. And if anybody's got some inspirational stories, if like yours there, Sharon, that we'd like to share to support us, we'd love to hear from you. Please do get in touch with us. through our website, or indeed if you'd like to be a guest on our Resilience Matters series. So thank you for watching, and thank you there, Sharon and Alison, and take care.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye-bye.